Hi, and welcome to our Retired Nomad Adventures.
I'm Retired Rick.
And I'm Daphne, and today we are coming to you from the beautiful town of Lisbon, Portugal. And so today we're going to share with you our first impressions of not only the city of Lisbon, but also of our Airbnb. We'll take you on a tour of the Airbnb and share with you sort of all of those initial costs as we're experiencing the city.
And you might ask, how did we get here? Well, we got here by train from our last Airbnb, which was at Tavera de Cabanas, right?
Cabanas de Tavera, but who cares?
Something like that. We took the train, and it was about a 4.5-hour ride, which was actually really easy, and it cost us $71. We came into the Orient station. We could have came into the Rosario station, which was actually closer, but it required us to change trains 2 or 3 times. And the one that we came into only allowed, we only had to change trains once in Faro. So it just seemed the easiest. It was the same price, so that's what we did. From the train station, we came to our Airbnb, which was about a 25-minute drive because of traffic and everything. And our Uber was only $10. So I was pretty surprised about that.
Especially it was like noon on a Wednesday,
Right.
So I would think it'd be busy time, and I can't even imagine what that would have cost from the airport in San Diego to go. Compared to that, right? Like that's a great price.
And what they do here, I downloaded, I've always had the Uber app, and I downloaded the Bolt app because we were told that Bolt is cheaper here and it's just as available as Uber. So I downloaded both apps, and we've come to find out that there was no issues whatsoever with Uber, and with Bolt we've had the driver cancel a couple of times while we were waiting, so we just always went to Uber, and it's been no problem. So we're going to stick with Uber right now. Bolt might be a little bit cheaper if you can get them, but it's just easier for me to go with Uber.
Yeah. So the Uber dropped us off right here at the Airbnb, and then our host really sweetly met us here. And so he took us through the entire Airbnb and kind of explained, the essential things like the washing machine, how it works, the coffee maker, the dishwasher, all of the oven. And he took us through the hotel or the Airbnb, and that was really nice. That was a nice little touch. And so we would like to take you and show you a tour of the Airbnb now. Hi, and welcome to our Lisbon Airbnb. So you walk into the hallway and everything kind of shoots off of here. We like that it has this stand here so that we can always put our keys. We try to always remember to put our keys in the same spot every time, so I think that'll be the spot where we keep our keys. And then look at this living room. Look how beautifully decorated it is. And of course, I know that if you travel a lot, it's probably not that big of a deal to you, but I don't know, for me, the idea of opening the windows in and having windows open that you can just look outside of and get the breeze in is fantastic. Look at that beautiful old building there. So we always look for a nice big cozy couch, and so we have a nice big cozy couch here. And then right off of the living room is a dining area, but I imagine that we'll probably use it mostly to work. So we'll do our editing and all of that great stuff here. But look how cute this is. Come over and show them that. Like, so pretty. They've done this so tastefully. Eclectic, tasteful. So this is the dining area. And then if we come back through the living room into this hallway, right off the hallway is the bathroom. So this was a little bonus for me that there was a bathtub. It's a small one, but it is a bathtub, and I'll take it. They gave us lots and lots of extra towels. So then we continue down the hall. I'll take you to the kitchen first. So then you come on into the kitchen, and we've had a peek around the cupboards, and everything is very well stocked. They even left us wine, some fruit, some bread, and then in the refrigerator, we haven't had anybody do this for us before. They stocked us with 6 eggs, some milk, some orange juice, some cheese, ham, yogurt, and water. So that was really nice. Also, we haven't got to do, so we've been hanging our laundry. We have a washer in every Airbnb that we get, but we haven't had a dryer yet. This is a washer and a dryer, but then he also told us if we wanted to hang our clothes, there's a hanging line, a clothesline right out here. So we haven't had a clothesline outside like that before. So I think that we're going to feel very Portuguese and take advantage of that. All right, so last is maybe, I don't know, the living room and the bedroom are both pretty darn cute. So this is the bedroom. So it's kind of in a oval shape, or a half circle, I guess. Again, the bed looks, the reviews of this said that the bed is super comfy. You can see all of our luggage is still just there. We haven't even, we rolled in and turned the camera on so we didn't get this messy for you before we started. And then take a look out at the little Juliet balcony. Another real selling point was that Lidl and how close it is, so that our grocery shopping, we should be able to do lickety-split here. But so far, we'll keep you posted on what we ultimately think of this, but right now it's feeling like a score. All right, so we hope you enjoyed that tour of the Airbnb, and we've been here for over a week now, and so we've had a chance to settle in and see what we like and what we don't like. And so I guess what the first thing that we really like is the price. So we are in a very walkable area, and the price for this Airbnb is $1,618, and that was with a 20% discount. And I think that, so we're here for 28 nights, and that came out to about $57 a night. So
not bad. It's been the cheapest one that we've had so far on our travels, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
I really like it.
My favorite thing is there is a bathtub. It's smaller, but the bath has, I just really enjoy at the end of the day being able to take a bath, and so the bathtub is great. The kitchen has everything that we could need, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even has a coffee press here too.
Yeah, has a coffee
so
press.
That's been really nice. And we made spaghetti last night, and even had the strainer for the spaghetti, and then the proper tool. So like it
proper
just
utensils, had everything that you would have at your own house.
Yeah. It also has these interesting windows. So, you know, in Europe, how the windows open and there aren't any screens, which is fabulous. But this one also has these metal shades that cover the window. So that's not only a blackout shades, but I also think that they help block out some of the noise.
Some of the sound.
Yeah, so those are interesting and neat. What else did we like? And then we also like having here, the rooms are separated. So it's nice to be able to go into the dining room and have it be a separate room, because we can work in there. We go in there and we play cards. We haven't really eaten in there, but we've done everything else.
We've done everything else.
Everything else.
We don't have the second bedroom, but having the dining room separate kind of feels like an extra bedroom.
I agree with that. Okay, and so a couple of things. Oh, and here's a super bonus. We get weekly cleaning for free included. And we had no idea that that was happening. So every Wednesday, we've had it one time, so she'll be coming again this week, but there's cleaning included as the cost of for the cost of this Airbnb, and we were not expecting. That was a happy little
really
surprise.
Nice,
yeah. And then I would say the two things to note here. You want to...
There's no elevator. We're on the 5th floor, and there's stairs. So the stairs are narrow. When we first got here, we had to carry up our luggage, which it was a task, but we were able to do it.
Well, the Airbnb host helped us, so he came back down. I was like, I can do it, and then about halfway through, he ran back down and helped me with my luggage. So Rick was carrying too, and.
But for us, it's not a big deal after the initial getting your luggage here, and then I'm sure when we leave, getting our luggage down. But we look at it as us getting our steps in. It doesn't bother us that there's stairs here, but if you are someone who has a hard time with stairs, there are stairs, and there's 72 steps. But who's counting?
So the stairs, like Rick said, aren't really an issue for us, except for that initial, and then I'm sure at the end. But for some people, that could be a deal breaker. And then the other thing to note is that there is no air conditioning here, which is interesting because I always filter. I always say we need a washing machine and we need air conditioning. And somehow this, I don't know what I did that this came through on the filter. I feel like it's a lucky accident because we're super happy here. But there is no air conditioning. But we're here October, November, and so that doesn't matter for us.
What's nice is they have a fan also in the room, in the bedroom, and we're used to having a fan on. So it's nice having that noise and then having the air circulation in there. So it's no problem whatsoever. And we've been here in wintertime, so.
Well, and for the first time we've used the heater. So so there's heaters in each room, and so it's almost November,
Yeah.
and so we've turned the heater on, and we definitely haven't needed the air conditioning. And then the real standout for us, because we tend to go to the grocery store pretty much every day, the real standout for us is that the grocery store, you can see from our window in the bedroom and the window in the living room, it is literally just sort of right across the street from us. So it's really nice to have. We have a Lidl. We also have another little grocery store. I can see the sign right now, Auchan, that's just up a touch from us. And so let's take them in real quick and show them around the Lidl.
We're going to take you into the grocery store that's right next to our apartment or Airbnb. So come on in and take a look. The first thing you'll see is these pastel donatas. We can't pass these up. But the hard thing is, it's like you're fishing for them and you have to put them out over here. And so it's a little learning curve, but we get 6 of them. So 6 of them for about €2. Oh, look, we got our coffee.
Yay.
Okay. They were out of this the other day. So we get a dozen eggs, and it looks like they're €2.15. So one thing I always do is I always just look and just kind of move them all around, make sure they're not sticking, because it's kind of hard if they stick, because sometimes they break. You don't want to lose eggs.
So this is my favorite section of the store. So this is the wine aisle. And you know, we shared with you that the Portuguese wine is so delicious. And we get wine that's about €2 a bottle that is fabulous. But we thought we would try to take it a step further. And you'll see that this is only 85 cents. And so we bought some box wine for you to see if there were limits to the deliciousness of Portuguese wine. And I think we pushed Portugal too far on this. So we would not recommend buying the 85-cent box wine, but any other bottle of wine is delicious.
So that's the grocery store we go to pretty much for something every day. And then
Pastel donatas, obviously.
And then there's grocery stores everywhere, but there's also a couple of really large malls here in Lisbon. And so we walked to one the other day. It was 4.5 miles. So we walked there and then we got the Uber back. We needed to go there because we needed to replace Rick's shoes.
It's crazy here with uneven sidewalks, just in Portugal, uneven sidewalks and all the walking that we're doing. I bought a brand new pair of shoes before we started our travels, and you can see that they're just wore out. Like, they are wore out. So I was slipping all the time, and when it rains in Portugal and you're on the sidewalks, these surfaces are totally uneven and really slick. So you have to, this is the first time that when we're going to a shoe place that we're trying to purchase shoes, we're looking at the bottom of the shoe saying, oh, that's going to work. Oh, that's not going to work. So it's different shopping for shoes here too.
Well, I would say we would pull the shoe off the shelf and immediately flip it over, and we'd run our finger along the tread. Yeah, that was the number one factor, was what the tread was like. So we needed to, my shoes are going to, we think are going to eke through till we get home, but we needed to replace Rick's shoes. And so we did that at the mall. And then the malls here are interesting because they have really nice grocery stores attached to the malls. I think we should adopt that in the United States, because you could kind of get everything done in one stop. So I knew that I needed a bigger grocery store. The Continente was there, and so we're familiar with that from the last couple of places we've been. And so they had a huge Continente at this mall. In fact, it even had like a clothing section in this Continente. So it was huge. They had a huge fish section. They had it all. And they had a nice toiletry section. But what I want to show you is, here's a picture of the groceries that we got. And so part of the grocery haul was the toiletries that we needed. So included in there were 2 huge bottles of bubble bath, a shampoo and a conditioner, toner, eyeliner, hair gel for Rick, a big thing of Nivea body lotion, Q-tips, and some wipes, and all of that was $36. Like, that seemed like such a great price. And then of course the grocery side of that picture was that was $31, and that included a 2.5 bag of codfish. 2.5 pound bag, of codfish. So great deal. Okay, so no shortage of grocery stores here.
Nope.
How about the location we're staying in? What would you say about the location we're staying in?
I think it's really good. We were here 2 years ago, and we were down in the tourist part. So right now we're kind of more in the outskirts of the tourist part. We're about half a mile down from the middle of Lisbon, the really tourist area of the
like Rua
Lisbon.
Augusta area, yeah.
And so where we're at, I really like, because we can see the Portuguese people, how they live, how they interact with one another. We see kids going to school. It's we see traffic, so it's nice being on the outskirts.
I totally agree. So remember a couple days ago we were walking up the stairs and you could hear the family, one of the families in the building that we're in, they were singing. It sounded like they had friends over and they were having some kind of sing along. It might have been a Bible study. It could have been just people. It was just so lovely to be a part of a typical traditional neighborhood. So I would say it's a little grittier than when you're down in the polished touristy areas, but it's great. I love seeing the older people. They're the neighborhood watch. Yeah, I'm so impressed with them too, though. They walk these sidewalks. They get out and they go. They're carrying their grocery bags. It is really nice to be a part of the city. Traditional part of the city. Yeah. Let's see. We're not totally sure exactly where we're at, but we believe we're just above the Alfama area. Yeah. So the older part of the Alfama area, and then we have a tram stop just one street up from us, and then you said the metro station
just down the bottom of the hill.
And we're close to everything. So the main strip is that Rua Augusta, and so each day we kind of go out for a walk. And the first 2 days we were here, we just went to go see some of the sites that we were familiar with from when we'd been here before. We were just excited to go back and explore. And so we felt like we were going to be tackling just a few of those places each day. But let me read you the list of places that we went to within the area of our Airbnb. So round trip, we only got 10,000 steps, and these are all the places that we saw. So we went to the old Alfama area, which is super charming. It has lots of shops and restaurants. We also went to go see the oldest butcher shop in Lisbon. The last time we were here, we went there on a food tour, and not only is it a butcher shop, but it has all those specialty items. It has
canned fish and olives.
Spreads,
salted codfish,
all kinds of stuff. It's really charming. There's also the oldest Ginginja shop there. This family's owned this shop, and they've operated it since the 1840. And Ginginja is a cherry liqueur that you can get either served just out of a regular shot glass or with out of a chocolate cup, and it usually comes with a cherry in it. And what we heard was that the monks are the ones who invented this, and they said that if you drank
headaches,
sore throats.
Oh, sore throat.
If you had 5 shots a day, it would keep the sore throat away. So they were onto something there. I feel like, okay, that was smart of them. We also passed the famous Pastel de Nata shop, Montenegro. And they say that one and Pastel de Bellum are the two most popular. But
we like the Castro one. It's right by the Augusta. What is it?
Santa
Justa lift. Right down the bottom. It's right there. It's I don't know.
It's our favorite.
They all taste great, but I really like that one.
Yeah, and we're not mad about trying them all. We'll try them all to figure out which is our favorite. But yeah, that Castro one is our favorite. So we also passed by the Santa Justa lift. And then the ruins of a church called the Carmo Convent, and it's sort of the ruins of a convent that was destroyed during the big earthquake in the 1700s, and now it's a museum that you can go into. The famous Tram 28. Pink Street, Green Street. We also went to the LX factory and down to the Tagus River, where you could see the not the Golden Gate Bridge, but the bridge here in Lisbon that was based on the Golden Gate Bridge. And then you could also see the Christ Rio statue. And these things were all in this compact little area that we just only walked 10,000 steps round trip and got to see all of that. In fact, the Rua Augusta is kind of our walking route now.
Right.
So we've been used to walking beaches and seaside towns.
We walk sidewalks down to famous sites and landmarks, and it's nice.
It's beautiful. So there are no shortage of things to do here. You could take a tuk-tuk ride to get yourself sort of your bearings about you with the city. You could do a food tour to do that. You could also take that tram 28. We haven't done that one.
No.
It looks pretty crowded.
It's always crowded, so
And-
we'd rather just walk.
Yeah, and even though we're here, what I would say is not peak season, we're sort of shoulder season maybe. The line for that tram 28 is about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about that. Okay, you could also go to day trips to places like Sintra and Cascais. We did a day trip to Fatima, Nazarene, and Obidos.
Yeah.
And that was super interesting and beautiful.
And it was nice to be able to take a tour and just sit back and have someone drive you there, drive you back, tell you stuff, and tell you where to go. So it was just nice to sit back and kind of relax. So
Yeah.
it was well worth it.
It felt like a little mini vacation within our time. But our favorite thing to do, I would say, is just go wandering and exploring.
Wandering around, exploring, trying to figure out what you want to eat, walking to places, and just really looking and figuring out what you want to do. Always the first day we end up going to tourist spots right away, and when we go to a tourist spot to eat, it's usually about $45 for both of us for a main meal and a drink. If we go to the outskirts, maybe a traditional Portuguese restaurant, it'll be about $35 for us for the same type of meal. The higher end touristy restaurants, just be aware that on those restaurants they will try to upsell you. And when I mean upsell you, we had a dish for 2 people that was 35, 40 euros, something like that.
It was a seafood rice dish for 2.
For 2. And so the waiter came over and said, "Oh, you can try this one too. This is really good." And as we're looking, all those meals were 103 euro, 120 euro, 95 euro. And we had seen all those, but we wanted this rice dish. So he tried to upsell us, and we asked him, like, "This isn't good?" And he goes, no, that's good. And it ended up being really good.
Well,
and we had
he took
leftovers.
the menu. He kind of took the menu from us, and because it's a touristy place, they have pictures on them. And so he said, "Oh, this is the best one. This is the best one." Where you can't
Right,
really
you
see
can't
the
really
prices,
see.
but we knew we wanted this one. Happened to have,
And we
yeah.
chose right. It was really good. And then when we go out to the cafes and stuff, coffee's about 250 euro. We get a pastry, so for both of us, for coffee and a pastry, it's under $10 or right at $10. So it's nice just walking around. And one time we were walking and it just started raining on us, so we popped into a coffee shop and we're there for about an hour just having coffee and pastries.
We might have ordered a second round of coffee and pastries over there. But yes, yeah. So even the touristy places are delicious. It's just you just have to be aware that they will try to upsell you, and they kind of have some things that they do to increase the price of the bill. And so if you're just mindful of that going in, you're really not going to get a bad meal.
And even at the touristy places, we talk about them being expensive. We're from Southern California, so any of the tourist spots that we've been is still half the price of what we're paying at in Southern California.
So like our most expensive meal was at a very touristy place, and we got that seafood dish for 2, and we got I got a glass of wine, and you got
it was like a keg of beer.
So he asked Rick, so normally here if they ask you want a small or a large beer, the small is a bottle of beer, right?
Yeah.
And then the large is like a
Like
pint.
a bottle and a half or something like that.
And so Rick said he said you want a large, and so Rick said okay. And when he came out, like the size of the beer was the size
You almost
of Rick's
had
head.
2 hands to hold it. So
and you don't know the price of that till the bill comes,
Till the
and
bill
so that's
comes.
another little trick that they do. So just be aware of that going in.
As long as you're aware of it, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. Okay. So how about what are your overall first impressions of Lisbon?
Second impressions, because first impressions were fantastic because we were down in the touristy district 2 years ago, and that's what we fell in love with. And now coming back here, first impressions, it's funny, the sidewalks, how slick they are, how beautiful they are with the ornateness of the tiles they put in there, the rocks or whatever, and they make these designs that it's just a sidewalk, and they spend so much time on the sidewalk. It's beautiful. Sidewalks are narrow. But everybody's respectful, and the drivers, you have the right of way in a crosswalk, so that's hard to get used to. It's interesting to see closed out on clothesline. I'm never used to that, but now when I see it, I'm totally used to it.
Well, we do it.
And we do it now. We have a washer here, washer and dryer, but the dryer is not like a dryer we would have at home. It's more of your clothes aren't as sopping wet, they're just damp, so you still have to put them out on the line. So seeing clotheslines with clothes and underwear and socks and bras and shoes or shirts and pants, it's odd at first, but then it's amazing how fast you get used to it because it's just the way of life. So.
And I would say, for me, my first impressions are, we've had a few unique experiences since we've been here in Lisbon. And so one of them is, the presidential election is going on in the United States right now. And so we wanted to make sure that we could vote. So Rick, you got us registered to vote, or registered.
You have to register that you're abroad, that you're living abroad but still living in the United States. So you have to request a ballot, and once you get all that information, they send you your ballot, and you ship off your ballot, and you vote.
Yeah. So we are temporary. We're U.S. citizens temporarily living abroad, and we were able to vote doing that. So that was a unique experience for us. The other thing is you registered us for the STEP program. STEP
program, which is, and I encourage everybody to do it. When you're out of the country, just the government needs to know where Americans are in the world in case there's a crisis that happens, and they'll give you notifications. So you sign up for the STEP program, you just let them know. It's easy filling out. You just let them know how long you're in an area, and then they'll give you notifications on some stuff that rises up. And we just got a notification about some protests going on about the war in the East, and then also about there was some police shooting in Portugal somewhere, and there was people protesting about that. So it was nice to get that alert, and just to be aware of your surroundings also.
I think the alerts for me made me realize how disconnected we are, though. So this is the first time we've been in a place that I have felt really disconnected. Another example is they had the time change when we were here, and so their time change, so we fell back an hour, and they do it a week before we do it back in the States. And then in the States, we always do it on a Saturday to Sunday, but here they do it from a Sunday to a Monday. And I only accidentally found out that the time changed because I'm on a tourist things to do in Lisbon Facebook group, and so somebody had offhandedly mentioned the time change there, and I was like, oh my goodness, there could be a time change. So I think a first impression for me here is feeling a little isolated from information. And so if there was a problem, I'm not sure how we would get the information. So if you have any ideas about that, let us know, because I do feel a little disconnected, and so a little uneasy about that. The other thing, let's see.
I know one other first impression for me is when you go out to a restaurant to eat, you'll get your meal, you get your drinks, and if you are ready to go, if you're done and you need to go, you need to get up and pay your bill, because they will not come and force you out. They will not pressure you to leave. You can sit there all day if you want. So just be aware that when you're done, just go up and go to the register and pay, or let them know that you're ready for your bill, because they will not bring you your bill unless you ask for it.
Yeah,
so
you just can relax and be. Yeah,
they're not relax and be. And they're not trying to kick you out.
Turning over tables. They're not doing that.
And it is nice to be able to sit there and just relax.
Yeah.
And that's what we're finding out a lot.
So, and I would say another first impression for me is I feel like we're on a movie set all the time. like it's so beautiful. You turn a corner and there's a lookout that you just can't believe. There's a monument that you just can't believe. The street, the colors. So I guess for me, it really feels like a movie set. Like somebody's filming something.
Right now, we're looking out the window, and I'm looking across the way, and there's an older lady just looking out her window and taking in the scene. So it's
in a beautiful, charming old building, and it's beautiful. Okay, well, we hope this video wasn't too long, and we hope that it's been helpful in terms of our first impressions in Lisbon. And then we also hope that you'll join us next week, where we'll take you out on a day with us. We haven't quite decided what we're going to do with you yet, but we are going to take you out on a typical day, all out and about from morning to evening.
I know Pastel Donatos will be involved.
Yes. Yes. So we hope you come back and join us next week. And as always,
bye.